today, or should I say, well, to certain technically yesterday. Well, guys, I got my pennies, and my plan worked, but it also didn't. Alright, so here's how my plan worked for trading rolls. I got, out of like, actually there's 4 chases, not 5. Out of the 4 chases, I only got 3. The only reason I actually couldn't trade for the fourth one, or say like the third out of the fourth one, is that they had no penny boxes. So that's good. Honestly, that chain, the third one, I've noticed that it's actually had supply issues. And it's very heavily contested. Also, about Heartland, they are adamant on never selling boxes. They are too stubborn and picky. There's a Bicentennial Ender. Canadian Penny Ender. Alright, let's start the penny search. So, bad news for the Windsor, like the Busey Bank. Yeah, we ain't going back, because they don't want any. Sucks, because they had some of the best rolls, but whatever. Also, Heartland is adamant on not giving up boxes, or not bags, but they'll hopefully give up boxes. My only fear is that, if I keep getting so many boxes, they just may outright shut me down. I may have to buy completely from, Chase, you know? You know, to be honest, like, you know what? Every 7 boxes, I can return 5. Alright, let's search box number 120. I just got this one today. Alright, so hopefully starting from now on, we're going to try to make, we're going to make, daily streams for penny searches. Cannot wait. Technically, we started yesterday because we searched the box yesterday. I needed 1 more box to get me through the week, but I could go to my Chase on Thursday and I can get it. I have 2 weeks to go get it. Damn it. Esmond almost tossed out. Hello, viewer. Oh, first sweet penny of the day. 1951 Denver. That might be another one right there. It is. 2 wheat pennies, 1 roll, people. $1951 Denver. And 1957 Denver. That makes 2. Bicentennial. Oh, what the hell's going on with this penny? What the hell? Why is it flaking? Damn. Took a nice 0.04 grams off that copper penny. Winners of the Bicentennial, and I see a Canadian penny. There you go, not bad. Nope, wheat penny. 1941 Philly. That makes number 3. Alright. Oh, there's some pennies in here. 17 Philly. $17 Philly. Canadian cent. Bicentennial penny. Bicentennial? And that Canadian. Wait, that's not a Canadian penny. That's a Bahamas penny. That's cool. Put that off to the side. Good grief, we're going slow. Hey, I'm tired. I just drove around the town all day long today. It's fun if I could open the app to scroll, you know. Like, where's the other Canadian penny? But no, that was a Bermuda penny. I forgot. Oh, that's another one. There it is. 1956 Denver. Nice. That's number 4. Hey, bro. Hey, how's it going? I remember you. I remember you. I don't know what game I was playing when I saw you come on to my stream, but I remember you, man. No lifing, because this is box number 120. So glad I could do my streams on YouTube and not Instagram. Instagram, I ain't getting people off from my Instagram to here. I try to make... Yeah, no problem. If you've been busy, don't blame yourself. It's okay. We all have lives. We tend to. You know what? I don't want to be that person. I think we need to go for another upgrade on my desk. Make it bigger, badder, faster. I might get a Rydale sorter. Twitch, nah. I don't want to stream Twitch because if I fart and I'll get banned, you know, someone could really go try to threaten to shoot up Twitch and they get like a 1-week ban. Alright, that is 10 wheat. That's 10 penny rolls down. We should have 2 wheat pennies. We have 4, so that's double the average. We're doing pretty good so far today. Great, actually. Oh, look at all these old coppers. There's got to be 1 wheat penny in here. At least 1. No? That's a bummer. I don't think there is one. So for example, this is 64. 64s are gonna weigh 3.1 gram, and then the zincs, which is that one, is gonna weigh 2.5. A copper 1983 would be very, very rare and valuable, so I weigh them to make sure if there's not a copper, which most of the time it's not going to, but if I can get that one chance, I will get a... That's an estimate. Yeah, some pennies are transitional errors, but this one is a transitional year, so 82. Some were copper. I keep the copper ones. Anything other than 82, I just weigh it because I want to see if there's an error on it. Some 83s were struck on copper, and they're very, very valuable, but they're extremely rare. I might get a copper sorter. I can afford one, and I can still have money to buy whatever I want. Because I saved so much up from the machine I was going to buy, but I never bought it. Just older memorial coppers. I feel like we're gonna get another wheat penny soon. Just look at all the coppers we're getting. That's usually indicative of a good wheat penny box. I want to find a wheat penny with you on stream. Another thing is that we're gonna be looking for the. I got thousands of coins to go through all. They're all mixed up. Good luck. If you want to, it's not really that fast, but there's these trays I got. Like, there's only, I have 2 of them. You could sort them by size, or for like $130 if you can get one. There's a 4-row sorter, but if you have way more money than that, and you like want to go through coins really fast, but you go through a large bulk of them like I do, you can buy more expensive sorters. But if you don't go through coins like I do, I don't recommend a high money sorter. They're nice, but you're just spending a lot of money that you could divert somewhere else, to gasoline, to electricity, to here's Bicentennial Penny. Next one. If I could have a copper sorter, all I gotta do is pick out all the. Either one, pick out all. Have him make it right. I pick out all the ones I want, and then there's a wheat penny. And then I just shove the rest into the sorter, and it does my job sorting out the coppers. Or I sort them the coppers and zincs and pick out those. What year is it? All right, guys, I'm gonna place it roughly 40s, 50s. Yep, 53 Denver. You can tell because if you look at the ears, there's actually these lines on the ears, and if they are not like smoothed down, that's indicative of modern day wheat pennies. So like not modern, like more like younger wheat pennies, like ones in the 50s and 40s. That was number 5. By the way, we actually have half of box average, and we have half of the wheat penny average we get for a box. For reference, we get usually 10 wheat pennies per box, and now we're at 5. And there's 50 rolls in the box, right? So you should be getting 5 per roll, whatever. 50 rolls in the box. And I have 37, not including this one I broke open. This pipe right here is an upgrade to my desk. When they go down it, they're going to go down and out in the other end, and they're going to go into a bucket. After they land in this bucket and they accumulate for a while, I will send it into this machine on my right. What? On coins, well, guess what? You came to the right place. A 0 of 1, 0 being I'm dumb at coins. There's Bicentennial. 0 out of 10, me being dumb on coins being 0, and then good on, like, expert being 10. I rate myself a nice, like, 6 out of 7. I know a good amount, but I definitely could use some help. So, first of all, what is a wheat penny? Wheat pennies have a reverse of this. They were made from 1909 to 1958. They're actually relatively common in circulation, but in small quantities. However, there are some rare variants, like the 32 Denver, 28 Denver, 16 Denver, and especially rare wheat pennies. Oh, there's another one. Rare wheat pennies like the 1909 VDBS. 56 Denver. That's a pretty common one. That one is number 6. Good grief. We're getting a lot of wheat pennies. Usually, I live in central Illinois, and where I live, I usually get about 1 wheat penny for every 5 rolls. By the way, I will say I can only like help you out with American coins. I'm not that smart about international coins. Like I kind of know like the types of them, some where some come from, but my knowledge is very limited on foreign currency. Wheat pennies are they're not extremely valuable like the normal ones aren't. They're probably gonna run you for about 5 cents per penny. Like maybe 3 cents from the copper and 2 plus from the numismatic aspect of them. But there are some that are very rare and hard to find and can warrant a lot of money. But again, those are very few and far between. Like the 55 DDO, or Double Die Outburst, 1909 VDBS, and extremely high grade pennies. Oh, there's another one. This is going to be like a 1920s. Or no, this is a 1919. Before you get jealous, like, oh, yay, wow, he found an old coin. I couldn't. That's a 1919. These are actually relatively common. There's like there are over 100 to 200 million. There's actually a lot of 1919 wheat pennies. I have all three of them. I have the S, D, and the normal. Yeah, they made 392 million 1919 pennies. Like from the Philadelphia branch alone. So that's actually very common. You can tell it's old because the wheat penny ears are kind of faded. That is number 7. And this sheet right here goes to a garbage can where I collect the penny wrappers and I send them in for recycling. Don't worry, guys. We recycle here on the Abbott Agency. That's a 92 Denver. If the A and the M are touching each other on the back, that is a 4-figure penny. And if they're in really great condition, they are worth up to like 10 grand. Very hard to find though. There's only like 14 that's ever been found. Will you find the 15th? By the way, again, 1909 S pennies, like SVDB pennies, are so rare. If I search another box like I did in like every box of the day, my calculations that I could be searching for another 5 to 11 years and not see one. But I have an advantage. I could go to California. In California, they have a lot of they have a 6 times, or you're 6 times more likely to find S-mints, or I should say S-mints in California are 6 times more likely to drop. I'm from Canada. I don't see much of those pennies. Are they melting down? No, but they are in Canada, is what I've heard. They've actually, they're actually melting down pennies as we speak. So, no offense to Canadians in my chat. I never let go of them, and that's why. I don't want them to go back and get melted down. I mean, hey, you gotta admit, that's the better of two evils. Have a foreigner hoard them versus have them get melted. I have like $5 in Canadian pennies. You'd be surprised how many, you'd be surprised how many of Canada's pennies end up in American circulation. Bicentennial. I have Canadian pennies all the way back to like the 1940s. Like, I think the oldest I've ever found was in 38. But I'm pretty sure Canada actually had large pennies, just like the United States did, but they shrank them down. Unfortunately, in 2013, Canada demonetized the penny. I should say, they ceased production. America stopped making them, but I don't know if it's permanent due to the current Trump administration. And by the way, I don't get political too much on here, but by the way, to all the Canadians that watch me, I'm sorry for my leader as an American. We're not like him. Not all of us like that guy. That's why I call Lake Michigan Lake Canada. Oh, there's an S-mint. Ugh. I like how all the Americans that follow that guy are like, oh, Canada's useless, and then like, oh, let's make Canada 50th state. Oh, let's do that. Like, wow. Honestly, stay strong, Canada. I think you can do this. Bicentennial. I've heard in Canada they still allow you to spend pennies, but what do you call it? A lot of purchases in penny, like a lot of prices in Canada are rounded to zeros and fives. But yeah, that wheat penny is, I think that's the 1919 I found. That is the 11th year of wheat penny they've ever struck. Wheat pennies, like, give me a second, my friend. So you're Canadian, so you should be very familiar with, there's an old one. I know that's not the name of them, but I call them Rex. Canadian pennies. Let me find an old one. Here's my entire jar of Canadian pennies. Can I find the Rex one? I call them Rex. Yep, there's one. Rex. It doesn't have Queen Elizabeth on it. It has this guy called Rex. George Svid, something. One of those. 1940. And I've also gotten Centennial Canadian pennies. I actually got a Centennial Canadian penny just yesterday. Celebrates 100th anniversary of Canada. There's a bicentennial penny. That's a very good one. This is a 2009 bicentennial penny. So this is the 200th year that Lincoln was born. So celebrates Lincoln's 200th birthday, and it celebrates the 100th year they made the small cents. Bicentennial. Huh. I think they'd be more common, but unfortunately, again, yeah, they are trying to get rid of pennies there. I feel like the penny could come back. I do think in limited numbers, because they have them shut down. The reason I think they may come back is that it's not a bicentennial penny. Is that you have to get congressional approval to get rid of the penny, and I don't think I've ever heard of that so far. The reason the penny was discontinued, it was stopped by what we call DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. And I don't care what anybody says, they're corrupt. They cut the National Weather Services with weather shortages during a severe weather outbreak a couple days ago. 27 people died, but, I mean, people would have died regardless of the cuts. But how many people could have been saved if the cuts had not been made is beyond me. Yeah, they're literally trying to make cuts to the weather service, which has been notoriously understaffed. Yeah, so that jar of Canadian pennies, that's how many Canadian pennies I found over my thousands of dollars of getting American pennies. Yeah, I might invest in a Rydell sorter. I heard they could kind of jam a little bit, but it uses electrical resistance of pennies to sort them by the metal content. Because different metals carry electricity faster than others. It's not, like, way too fast. They're within, like, probably, like, microseconds of each other. But it takes that difference, and it sorts them accordingly. A stubborn rule here, guys. Give me a second. if you want numbers in Illinois, roughly the boxes I get from Illinois, every like 2,500 pennies, there's roughly like 1 to 3 Canadian pennies in there. But I'd honestly say there's a penny for or Canadian penny every 500 U.S. pennies in circulation. So they're actually twice as rare as wheat pennies. Whoopsies. Estimate. These pennies are made from San Francisco. They don't make pennies anymore. Last time they made pennies was 61 years ago. They stopped making pennies 61 years ago. They stopped making pennies after 1955. They continued from 68 to 74, and then they stopped and never made pennies that circulated again. But they still made like special ones for collectors. If you're lucky, you can actually find one, but they're pretty uncommon. Alright, that's 20 out of 50 penny rolls in. We should have 4 wheat pennies. We have 7, so almost double average. I can almost recognize Canadian pennies instantly if I listen hard enough. Because, again, distinctly from my currency, they make a little ping sound. They sound lighter, because they're actually, even though they sound lighter, they're actually the same weight. So if you see a penny go from the scale, and then from the scale to my hands, that is a copper penny, and I save them because they're more valuable. They're worth really triple their value in copper. So a copper penny is worth like 3 cents. I heard Philadelphia made Canadian coins. I don't know. Although I know my country's made coins to other countries before, specifically Panama. I don't know if we made coins for Canada. Oh, there's a bicentennial. A lot of bicentennials here. Oh, well, so look at that. We got a Canadian cent. I'll tell you the date. That way, if you're curious. Yeah, listen. It's a 78. That is a copper. And look, your pennies, they weigh kind of like us. Your pennies weigh nearly the exact same as ours. They're the exact same shape. This allows Canadian pennies to easily sneak into the American supply chain. And that being said, most likely allows American pennies to slip out. Although I wouldn't be surprised if the rate that American pennies slip out is the same or maybe slightly higher, because the American penny is the most common coin on Earth. We made 550 billion of these bad boys, including small flying eagle cents, Indian head cents, wheat pennies, memorial pennies, shield pennies, and bicentennial pennies. We've made a lot of these things. There's multiple times more of these pennies than people on Earth. There's so many of these pennies, I think, if I'm not wrong, you could actually stretch a line of pennies from here to the moon and back twice. Which isn't that much if you think about it. Yeah, 35 billion. So I wouldn't be surprised if my pennies or my country's pennies leak into yours way more than they do to mine. I mean, 500 billion for us, 5 billion for you. They're most likely, again, going to... The leakage is probably going to be way more than you. In your country. Canadian pennies, of course, are not legal tender here, but they're damn near treated as such. Because, again, they're the same size, they say 1 cent, they're the same weight, they're the same thickness. They are virtually, if you take the design off, they are virtually the exact same size as an American penny. So is Canadian quarters, nickels, dimes, and I think I don't know, about $2 Canadians. Ooh. I love crushing penny rolls like that. Oh, a little bit without a wee penny. $35 billion, honestly, is a pretty decent amount for a country to make coins, but definitely doesn't even hold a match to the massive American 550 billion pennies. Ah, crap. Halfway through the box. Oh, there we go. Have colored coins too. Like, what do you mean by colored coins? Like, do they have different colors on them? Like, in terms of like art styles? No, we're boring. Or are you mentioning bimetallics? Because we don't have bimetallics. For example. Where is it? That's a bimetallic coin right there. It's a peso from Mexico. It's got another metal and another metal core. You can, if you add the hydraulic press, you can actually press this central piece out and turn it into a ring. Another one. Caught that penny. Wee penny. 41 Philly. By the way, if this was 2 years younger, it would be extremely valuable. For 2 years younger, I would buy a house with this little guy. Because it would be a 43 copper. That was number 8. Now, what's the reason behind that? Because it's called transitional error, which means that while transferring the type of coin they're making, they actually they were making sealed pennies in 1943 because for the war effort they needed the copper for the bullets, so they made steel pennies. But in 1943, a couple of copper planchets or like discs that they were striking pennies with, like it's like a blank disc, right? It looks just like this. It's a blank penny right there. They look like that, and they're completely blanked out. Now, when they, in 1943, a couple of those copper planchets were still in the hopper when they were pressing them. And they actually struck a couple of 1943 coppers on accident, and these pennies are worth literal hundreds of thousands of dollars, even in not that good condition. Because there's only estimated to be no more than 100 of those out in existence. However, the same thing happened in 44 when they transitioned from steel back to copper. A couple of steel planchets were actually left in the hopper, striking 1944 steel pennies on accident. There's less than 40 of these pennies around, and they're extremely valuable. One of the rarest and most valuable pennies known. Press out his skateboard bearing. Oh. Now, I'm going to tell you a little tip when you press out that bearing. Now, if it's a roller bearing, which I assume it is, means that there's going to be an inner and outer race. The inner race is where the balls touch the inside, and the outer race is when the balls of the bearing touch the outside. You need to apply both pressure to equally to the inner and outer brace, or else you can destroy your bearing. If it's sealed, do not lubricate it unless it specifies in the manufacturer's manual. Because the sealed ones usually have lubricant inside, and you'll never have to lubricate them. But a lot of people will take them apart, lubricate them, and completely destroy or mess up the bearing because of it. I learned that because I actually put together those bearings. Like, I didn't build the bearings, but I made, like, mechanical drives that use ball bearings. You have to take a whole arbor press to press those things out of these shafts. Oh, I have another thing. A Canadian dollar coin. Size of a $50. Here's our dollar coin. We don't use them as often, though. I know, that's a... I love looking at foreign coins, looking at what they do differently than ours. The cultural difference is so cool to examine. American dollar, like a dollar coin. And so, you got the big one or you got a small one? We made big ones, but then we transitioned down to smaller ones back in the 2000s. Or do you have a bill? Alright, we got 20 rolls to go. We should have 6 sweet pennies, but we got 8. Doing very good. So the amount of wheat pennies we're getting is slowing down a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah. So here's what a small... There's actually 2 designs of small dollars. Like, here's a presidential dollar, but then there's the gray one, which is a Susan B. Anthony. No one likes these. They didn't like women's suffrage, I'm not kidding you. But the reason they don't like them is because they look like a quarter. That's a quarter. So, to stop the complaints, they switched over to these small ones. If you actually look on the side, you can see E Pluribus Unum, our nation's motto, which means all of many one, I'm pretty sure. And you can see 22 Denver. The mint mark is actually on the edges. America does not make that many edge... They don't really put their mint marks on the edge or years on the edge anymore. Oh crap. I'm not fishing that one out. There's a really degraded bicentennial penny. That poor little penny. Zinc pennies don't last worth a damn in this country. They get eviscerated relatively quickly. Remember bicentennial? Come on. I'll have to get a wheat penny soon. I'm starving for one. Really would love to see a wheat penny. No, copper's in that one. There, wheat penny. Another wheat penny. There's 2 of them in here. That's cool. I love getting 2 wheat pennies in one hit. If you're real lucky, you can get 3. The max I've gotten is like 5. This one is a 1957 Denver. This one is a 1958 Denver. They're both 1 year apart from the same mint. 1, 2. That makes 10. Will be a Scott box average. Any wheat pennies we get after this point on this box is bonus. Is there anything special about the 1917 American 1 cent? Nothing. I found some Irish coin 1948 couple day ago. Yeah, I got a couple Irish coins. Liars, I believe. You think it's a small one? So yeah. Sorry, cause I'm really barely in view of the screen. So 76 pennies are not that rare, but they're not really that special either. But also oh, that's a nice copper penny. 1976 quarters are pretty cool because they're the bicentennial quarter. Like it's like your centennial penny. Alright. So look, that 82 was not a copper. So, you know what happens to it? Goes down there. I think Philly. Ow. Ow. Bicentennial. Another bicentennial. Ah, those here. Now it's midnight where I live. No wheat pennies. Not in this batch. Canadian penny. Wheat penny. $53 Denver. Not bad. Good night. Catch you next stream. Alright, I'll be streaming another penny box tomorrow. We're doing this daily now. Canadian. There, Bicentennial. Ten rolls left. We should have 8 wheat pennies. We have 10. Ow! My knee. Hello, viewer. Hope you're doing good. Bye-bye. Bicentennial. Oh, there's a badly beat up wheat penny. It's a 44 Philly, though. Really badly beat up. That's number 11. I like when the one that like gets badly damaged and gets, just gets kind of kicked out when I find it. investment. Bicentennial. $55 Denver. Canadian penny. It makes number 12. No, we only got 4 rolls left. Oops. We got 44 Philly right there. Yep, there's number 13. Something Philly. Three pennies left. Rolls left. Bicentennial. Hello, viewer. One roll left after this one. Last roll. An estimate. Ready. And that's it. 13 wheat pennies. That's pretty good, in my opinion. How many copper pennies did we get? Alright. Alright, so let's put that into the database. Let's go to my Coinbatch database. Let's type it in. And okay, so here's how we do this. We got, well, it's May 20th. Today is an interesting day meteorologically. Today is the 12th year, or marks the 12th year, ever since the United States' last EF5 tornado. 12 years, people. 12 years. Can you believe it? Alright, so we got 13 wheat pennies. Bicentennials. We got, X10. 15, 16, 17, 18 bicentennials. We got, there's those 17 Phillies. We got 4 of those. Estimates, we got 6 of those. Witties, we got 1. Canadian pennies, we got 4 of those. Copper pennies, we got 586. And we got no Indian head cents. Alright, so that's it. I'm gonna search my. I'm gonna sort through my pennies now. Alright. So, where is it? Wheat pennies. There we go. Hi, so we flip these bad boys over, and we start going the top down. Actually, I'm gonna do it over here. Actually, I'm gonna stop showing. See you guys. Have a nice one.